Greetings, everyone. This is Gary Cohen, your host on KSCW 103.1 FM's Rec Center show. Our special guest today, Tamra Stark, who heads up the Incredible Explorers program at the Sun City West Rec Center. Welcome back, Tamra.
Oh, thank you, Gary. It's always a pleasure to be here and with the KSCW audience.
Fantastic. So you've been busy, and there's a lot coming. Why don't you let us know what is coming up?
There's a lot that's gone, and there's a lot coming up. So for the rest of the year, I want to just emphasize a few things that people can still take in early December, including a class on tax efficiency and retirement on December 19th. I also have a wonderful class on creating your own table bouquet for Christmas or Hanukkah, and that's going to be on the 22nd of December, right before the holiday. And then the other thing is we do have another power walking class starting in early December. And we also have the tour of Luke Air Force Base, unfortunately, as people I've said before, but just to reiterate, is full, but that is on December 10th. And then also we have the class on aromatherapy for the holidays, which is how to kind of use oils to stay healthier for the holidays. And that's going to be on Wednesday, December 11th. And we're doing a Zen doodling class if you want to just have fun, do some artwork on Friday, December 6th.
So there's a lot going on.
Yes.
And they're unique. Tour of the base, power walk, there's health involved. It's just wide ranging.
Yes, it's lots of fun. It's been really fun to build this for people. And the other thing that I wanted to say is that next year we have some really exciting classes coming up. A series we're doing on dream. So for people who just want to take a lecture on dreams, that lecture is going to be on February 25th. And then 2 weeks later, we're actually doing like a 3-hour workshop. So you get a chance to kind of learn more about how to analyze your own dreams, which I think will be kind of fun with an expert who's also written several books on dreaming. And we're also doing a class on understanding your chakras in late January. And then in addition to that, we had this fabulous preventative golf cart maintenance class last week that was full. And he was so popular that we're bringing him back again to do the class in February. And we've been working with ARC on that because they have a lift for golf carts. So you get a chance to learn how to keep your golf cart going. And the other thing that we're doing for the winter, which will be fun, is some really interesting history classes, including the fabulous Vinnie Bruno, who's going to be back doing a class on Bob Dylan, and also a class on the making of Revolver, the Beatles album. And then we have a class coming up in February on Boys Town and Father Flanagan. As two of the men who work for the rec centers grew up in Boys Town, so they're going to be speaking as a representative of Boys Town, and we'll talk about the history of Father Flanagan and the way in which he built Boys Town. We're also doing a class on Hopi culture and traditions in January, at the end of January, and a class on the ancient cultures in Arizona. A lot of times if people go to the White Tanks or Lake Pleasant, they understand that there was a history here of not only the Anasazi people, but then the Hohokam. And this woman is doing a class on all the ancient peoples that settled this area in Phoenix and in southern Arizona.
If I can ask, in this past year and even leading up to this time, is there one particular area that you find more popular with people, that people run to it right away, grab it up right away? Mm-hmm.
Well, I would say for sure the cooking classes, partly because we tend to limit the size of those classes. Like pressure cooking for January is already full. And certainly I think the hikes, I try to do hikes twice a year at the Hacienda at Lake Pleasant and at the White Tank. And it's an opportunity, even if you've been there, to have a hike with a ranger-led hike so that you learn a lot more about the geography, you learn about the birds, you learn about all the different species of animals, but also all the plants that are in the desert.
And a great time of year to be hiking, I'll tell you, right?
And lots of fun to do it as a group. And the entrance fee, the fee we charge includes the cost of getting into the parks. And I'm also doing some other interesting classes this winter on Japanese cuisine and a 3-course dinner. And we're also going to do a class again on wonderful, fabulous appetizers, cooking with mushrooms. And then, of course, I'm doing the wine and painting classes, which are always really popular.
I could just imagine how popular, right?
And it's fun because you get to spend the afternoon creating something and enjoy some snacks and some wine, and hopefully signing up with a few good buddies so you can enjoy being together.
It's a great your program allows people to make a lot of new friends. You right?
Yes, I hope so. I think particularly the fitness classes and some of the cooking classes where people can kind of see each other over time. Yes, I believe people start to build community, which is really important. You know, like I checked people in for a class last night, and a couple of people came up and said, so-and-so hurt her foot, so she won't be here tonight, but she'll be here on Thursday. And yeah, people are connecting, which was part of the goal of this program, was not only for educational purposes, but to build community.
Absolutely. And again, I know we've gone over this before, but for newcomers, what are the ways for people to sign up for programs?
So there are 3 different ways, one of which you can do yourself, which is to go directly to the link, which is suncitywest.recsolutions.com. And Rec Solutions is spelled REC Solutions.com. And Sun City West is spelled out in full. That will take you directly to the Explore website. You can also access the site through the Rec Center main site by clicking on Things to Do and then clicking on the Explore program. You can also call me. I'm available to help you register. My phone number is 623-544-6194. Again, that's 623-544-6194. I work part-time, so the best times to reach me are usually late morning, early afternoon, and I rarely am in the office on Friday. So generally Monday through Thursday is the best time.
Are you finding now that the season is in full swing that it's really a big difference from the summer? Or
Yes.
But you're busy all year round, but this is really
we
special.
are busy all year round, but at this time of year in particular, it's exciting because people come back. They're really interested. Like today, I checked people in for a class on changing habits, and one of the women had just moved here and had signed up already for classes, and she was really excited about what she was taking.
So there's a lot of offerings. It's a really wide range. I know I've asked you in the past, but for those who are tuning in for the first time, where do you find you get your ideas from?
Well, it's a variety of sources, which is wonderful for me. Some of them are things that I just would be interested in myself, and I ask other staff members at the rec center. And also I ask people in the classes to please send me ideas for classes or if they'd like to teach a class. I've had a number of people who live here reach out to me and say, I'd like to share my expertise. And I am just overwhelmed with the level of expertise we have in this community. So I always look forward. Well, Gary, you did a fabulous class for the program, and I always look forward to working with people who live here so that they get a chance to do something in a little bit different format than they might if they're just having a casual conversation with friends.
Oh, trust me, it's a lot different lecturing to a group as opposed to doing a newscast. I could tell you that.
That is true. It is true, right? And I encourage people to use many formats, including PowerPoint, and have some handouts and have some conversation and discussion, asking questions. So I think the more different ways in which we can help people to learn and to enjoy the experience of being in the classroom is really important.
Well, I'll tell you, all these programs, the ones where you have to think a lot, it's really healthy for all of us to keep our minds active.
That's true.
Right?
Very true,
And
yes.
your programs really speak to that.
And hopefully they give people some enjoyment, some pleasure. Like we did stargazing in the park the other night. It happened to be a beautiful evening. We're doing it again. Let me see if I can find that page while we're talking, Gary. But we're doing stargazing in the park again. I believe it's in March, but let me just look this up once. Yes, it's on March 3rd, Tuesday, March 3rd in the evening, and it's really fun because he gives you a lecture on what you're going to see in the night sky and answers questions about what we know about the heavens. And then you get a chance to look through 4 different scopes at different aspects of the evening sky.
Yeah, there was on the news recently, Mercury was making a pass.
Yes, that's right.
A lot of people were looking for this. It was really very quick, but you knew what you were looking for.
And he also told us about a number of meteor showers that are coming up in November and December, and how to go out after midnight and watch the meteor showers. So, yes.
Quite a celestial show we had, right?
That's true.
Right. Any night when you step outside, and even had the full moon this week.
Right. And so, even though we really don't have a mountain here, people could go up to the Sun City West Mountain and Meeker Mountain and lay down with a blanket and look at the stars and watch the meteor showers. Yeah.
Fantastic. So how far ahead are you? You have classes lined up for next year, but how far ahead do you start thinking about, into the future? Yeah.
Usually about 6 months before, so that, because, I'm really fortunate here to work with our scheduling department so that they make sure that I have room for the classes. So I work with them. I work with the instructor about when they're available, and then I work with the scheduling department. And particularly on classes that are more than 1 or 2 sessions. For example, I have the 2 astronomy classes coming up again next year, which I think people are really interested in. And the astronomy one will start in January 16th. It'll be on Thursdays, and then astronomy 2 starts right after that on February 13th. And those are 4-week classes. So so it's important for me to know that I have the space and the best time for the instructor in order to offer the classes.
In terms of the hikes that you take, a lot of different wildlife out there that people get to see at different times of year,
Oh, it's
right?
really fun.
Right?
Like if you go up to Lake Pleasant on the hikes, we do a wildflower hike out there in the spring because the wildflowers there are beautiful. And usually you'll see burros and some coyotes and sometimes fox. And then if you go out to the Hacienda, you almost always, we're doing a migratory bird walk because the Hacienda is a migratory bird path for the United States. So you see wonderful birds out there in the spring that you will not see the rest of the year. And occasionally you're going to see a javelina. So it's kind of fun. And usually, again, if you're ranger led, or you might even see some snakes, but they're much better at identifying some of those critters or knowing where they usually can find them than if we're just taking a casual hike through the woods.
You're listening to the Rec Center show on KSCW 103.1 FM. Our special guest today, Tamra Stark, who heads up the Explorers program. Hikes are educational and they're exercise.
Yes, yes.
Right?
And they're fun just to be outside, and particularly this time of year when the weather is so great. Yeah. And the other thing I'd like to tell people is how they can sign up for classes. By the way, people can pick up catalogs at all the rec centers as well as the library. And if you want to go directly to the website, go to suncitywest.recsolutions.com. And Rec Solutions is spelled RECSolutions.com. Or you can call me if you need some assistance with registering at 623-544-6194. One of the things I'd like to point out, if you're a couple, each of you need your own account. A couple of people have called saying, I can't get my husband or my wife onto this hike or something, and I'll say, well, do they have their own account? And they'll say, no, I'm trying to just add it to mine. It's not the same as events where you can go in and buy a number of tickets under one person's name. So just remember that. And if you have difficulty setting up an account, or if you don't have a computer, or you're not in front of one and you want my assistance, again, just give me a call at 623-544-6194.
So there are a variety of ways for people to get on board.
Yes, yes. And you can register at the door. However, that's dependent on whether or not there's room in the class.
Absolutely, because some are so incredibly popular, it would be kind of hard to get them in at the, right?
That's true. And I am bringing the Queen of Clean back again.
I was going to ask, because that's been very popular.
People loved her program so much, and she answers every question you have about cleaning. So she'll be back again with us in February. And we had a really successful program with Marshall Trimble, who's the state historian, the other day. And he tells tales of Arizona and also sings. And he's in his late 80s, and he's amazing. What a performer he is, and what an educator. So we're going to have him come back probably in February or March next year. So look for the dates. That'll be in the catalog. It's not in the current catalog because I haven't been able to schedule him yet.
There's a lot of history here, a lot of different kind of history.
Yes.
From when we became a state, the Mexican influence, the Native American influence. Okay.
That's true. And I will have my typical classes that I have every year on the Apache history, the Hopi history, and the Navajo history, which are 3 of the tribes that are very unique to this region and have their own culture and history.
Fantastic. Tamra Stark, we thank you so much for joining us on the Rec Center show. We look forward to speaking to you again with the new programs that are coming around in the new year.
Well, thank you, Gary. It's always my pleasure to be with you.